Hello, friends. Many international doctors preparing for the Fachsprachprüfung make the same mistake. They learn hundreds of medical words but still struggle during the examination. Why? Because FSP does not test vocabulary alone. It tests whether you can use medical German correctly under pressure. In this video, I will show you the three communication skills you must practice. The examination follows a complete clinical communication process. First, you speak with the patient. Then, you present the case to another doctor. Finally, you document the relevant information in an arched brief. Weakness in any one of these areas can affect your results. Let us begin with the patient interview. Knowing the correct medical terminology is not enough. The patient may use everyday language, speak emotionally, or provide information in an unstructured way. You must listen, show empathy, and still conduct a systematic anamnese. Imagine that the patient says, Ich habe seit gestern einen Druck auf der Brust und bekomme schlecht Luft. Das macht mir Angst. A weak response would be, Seit wann haben Sie Schmerzen? A better response would be, Ich verstehe, dass Ihnen das Sorgen macht. Seit wann genau bestehen die Beschwerden und sind sie plötzlich oder allmählich aufgetreten? The better response acknowledges the patient's concern and then continues with a focused medical question. This is the difference between simply knowing German and communicating professionally with a patient. This is why patient interviews must be practiced actively. You should become comfortable asking follow up questions, responding to emotions, and collecting information in a logical order. The second part is Arztgespräch or the doctor-doctor interview. Here the challenge changes. You are no longer speaking with a patient. A structured case presentation should include the patient's details, main complaint, relevant history, important findings, assessment, and proposed next steps. The Oberarzt may ask, Bitte stellen Sie mir den Patienten kurz und strukturiert vor. A possible opening would be, es handelt sich um einen 58-jährigen Patienten, der sich wegen eines seit gestern bestehenden thorakalen Druckgefühls sowie begleitender Dyspnoe vorstellte. You must present the case clearly, briefly, and using appropriate medical terminology. A long and disorganized answer can hide very important information. The aim is not to repeat the entire interview. The aim is to transfer the clinically relevant information accurately and efficiently. The third part is asked brief, that's the letter writing. Some candidates communicate reasonably well but lose points when it comes to writing. They use conversational language, omit relevant information, or change the meaning of what the patient said. Others spend too much of time correcting individual sentences and do not finish the letter. That's what happens in most of the times. Practicing realistic follow up questions helps you organize your thoughts and answer without losing the clinical focus. Compare these two sentences. First, der Patient hat Schmerzen in der Brust und kann nicht richtig atmen. Now the improved formulation. Der Patient stellte sich aufgrund seit gestern bestehender thorakaler Schmerzen sowie begleitender Dyspnoe vor. The second formulation is far more appropriate for medical documentation. But you should understand why it is better, not simply memorize and copy. A strong asked brief or letter requires clear structure, precise terminology, complete relevant information, and good time management. Correction should help you identify repeated weaknesses in grammar, terminology, completeness, and structure. The objective is to avoid making the same mistake in every new letter. Vocabulary is the foundation, but exam readiness comes from practicing the complete communication process. You must learn to understand the patient, present the case, and document it correctly. Vocabulary alone is not FSP readiness. Before buying another vocabulary book or watching another 10 hours of general German videos, identify your actual weakness. Is it anamnese, that is history taking? Is it Oberarchgespräch, that is doctor interview? Or is it Archbrief, or that the letter which you're supposed to write? Once your weakest area, once you know that, your preparation becomes much more focused. Write your weakest area in the comments, Anamnese, Oberarchgespräch, or Archbrief. If you want to practice the complete FSP workflow, you can learn more about FSP guide at fsp.medicortex.de. I said that in German. So don't learn more German actually. Practice the German you will actually need in the examination. That is your goal.